Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at another lesson that you're going to be required to understand to do well on that exam this June. Today we're going to look at the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is used to solve a quadratic, actually can solve every quadratic equation. To use the quadratic formula, you need to make sure your quadratic is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. The quadratic formula is this thing. First, to do it, there are a number of steps. We're going to take a look at how do you solve a quadratic expression or equation using the quadratic formula. And it is the value of the roots or the zeros is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. What do these letters mean? They are the coefficients in front of the x squared, the x, and what is your constant term c. Here are 7 steps that I've identified. If you look at it in some textbooks or if you look at it online, they may be 4 steps, they may be probably not more than 7. But what I wanted to do was identify all the steps that you would need to know. The first is you want to make sure it's written in standard form. Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. Once you have it in standard form, you want to identify what the a value is, what the b value is, and what the c value is. Step 3 is just making sure you have the quadratic formula correct. Step 4, you substitute those values, those numerical values in for a, b, and c. Step 5 is simplify it. Step 6 is to write it into 2 equations. And step 7 is to solve them. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. So, here's an equation for us. It's quadratic. We have 6x squared plus 5x minus 4. Write it in standard form. Well, this thing is actually written in standard form. So we're not going to have to change anything. That's very important. Step 2 is identify the a, b, and c values. Well, a is equal to 6, b is equal to 5, and c is equal to negative 4. Notice that for 4, I put the sign associated with it also. It's not 4, it's negative 4. You want to make sure you have your quadratic formula. Step 3. Step 4 says, okay, I want to substitute values. B is 5, so I need to put the opposite of 5, which is negative 5. Now, I need to take my b value and square it. 5 times 5 is 25. Then, there's a minus sign, and then I have 4 times the a value is 6, times the c value. The c value is negative 4. All of that is over 2 times a, and my a is 6. Just plugging everything in is a good step. This is where you really got to take your time, because this is where most of the mistakes are made. So what I'm going to do is simplify this. I'm going to start off with my minus 5, plus and minus. I have the square root of 25. Now what you're doing here, notice you have a minus 4 times 6, which is 24, times a negative 4. That minus sign and that negative ends up making that a positive. So 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 4 is 96. All over 12. Now what I want to do is simplify a little bit further. 25 plus 96 is 121. So this really becomes this. Over 12. The square root of 121 is this piece here just becomes 11. So I'm going to write my 2 equations. Minus 5 plus the square root of 21, which is 11 over 12. The second equation is minus 5, not plus, it's minus 11 over 12. Now what I want to do is simplify those two equations. Minus 5 plus 11 is 6 over 12. 6 over 12 is, I can reduce that to 1/2. The second one is minus 5 minus 11 is negative or minus 16 over 12. 4 can go into both of these. So if I divide them both by 4, I get negative 4 over 3. So my two solutions are 1/2 and negative 4 over 3. I hope that helps you understand how to solve quadratic using the quadratic formula. The most important part to remember is take your time up in here. Simplify it. Use as much paper as you need, because this is the area where mistakes happen the most. Good luck on that exam in June.